I left Finland in February to go to study in ACU Strathfield in Sydney, and I had been looking forward to going to Australia for a long time. Before studying started, I went traveling across Australia with my roommates, through the Great Ocean Road, through the rainforests, Grampians, and the coast beaches. In Sydney, I was eager to get to know my new city where I would be living the next half a year, but the news of the spreading coronavirus across the world gave urgency to see and do as much as I could before everything was closed in lockdown. We were studying at the campus for only a few weeks before we turned to online studying. Studying kept me busy during the lockdown, but I still felt mood swings and depression, but talking with my family and friends helped me to get through it. I kept telling myself that I didn't have it as bad as many other people around the world. Then I was already following closely the news of the spreading coronavirus across the world. During my time in lockdown, I decided to compare my situation to other people around the world, not just following it from the news and seeing videos, but asking my friends who lived in Finland and America and compare their experiences to mine.
I know that as far as United States, we jumped up. Like our percentage of COVID cases skyrocketed. Like we surpassed both Italy and China. Just because people don't know how to follow rules. And I think because of this pandemic, because of the virus, they're starting to notice more things, and now they're going to take more precautions as far as...
The quarantine has been quite crazy. We kind of felt it coming, because Finland was later into the whole circulating around the world thing. I've had a very positive experience. The only negative thing is, personally, I can't see my kids. I haven't seen them, except for online. I haven't seen them for almost 8 weeks. So it's been really tough.
Like at the same time, kind of it's this calm that life goes on, like daily life goes on, but at the same time it's kind of this alarm and stress of being aware all the time that there's a pandemic going on and people are dying, and it's kind of like both happening at the same time. How you felt it?
I would say, yeah, the stress has definitely increased. How you talk to people, how you introduce yourself has changed. You can't shake hands. I think in the end, a lot of things might change in the long term. Like people might wear masks all the time.
There's been like therapists, for example, talking like this is a global collective trauma. Don't put more pressure on yourself trying to be productive. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay to be stressed because of the virus going on.
Yeah, true. And yeah, to me, I'm finding so much positivity out of this situation, and going out of it. And of course, it's challenging. I don't get to see my kids and stuff like that. But we're finding ways to do that. We're finding ways to figure things out.
One huge change a lot of people have to come to grips and accept it that their actions affect other people, and they have to probably change their behavior drastically because it affects other people, and that's probably very difficult to a lot of people to accept.
Yeah, there's these lifestyle changes that people don't want to change, and they'll come up with every excuse to keep in line with that.
Because now that's kind of why I understand it, because this virus is the kind of that is very much asymptomatic to a lot of people. So that's why we have to take precaution in case we don't accidentally spread it to other people, and we don't know who is a carrier and who's not.
Yeah, it's meant for the people who are sick so they don't spread it, but also you don't know if you're sick. You don't know if your neighbor is going to get sick. You are a carrier whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And everyone has to act as if they carry it.
So that's why everybody has to stay in quarantine. That's the part I get. And as the time goes by and we have more data to study, how severe is the virus and all of that, we can start lifting the restrictions. So I guess it's not safe really to go places or travel before we can get more testing accessible, so we can know
Right.
if somebody is a carrier.
Or at least a vaccine for it,
Yeah.
which could take a couple more months. So until we develop a surefire way to either contain it or eliminate it, then it's not safe to do anything.
Yeah. Like the coping mechanisms people had during the quarantine, almost everybody had to go through it, and people turned to like singing, or you've seen the challenges, like try to recreate some paintings and artworks.
Yeah.
So,
There's so much creativity and hope, and it's really kind of beautiful how people have taken a bad situation and turned it around and made it into something and taken creativity out of it.
Even if my semester and exchange study didn't quite turn out to be what I expected, I was still glad to have spent my last 6 months in Australia learning new things and making new friends, and I hope one day I could come back here.